I'm filming this video because I had a septoplasty and inferior turbinate reduction procedure this past Wednesday. It's now Saturday, so it's been 3 days since my procedure. It's been a pretty minor surgery, but it's had its fair share of frustrations and challenges, and I wanted to put a video out there to explain how I've been dealing with it and what the process has looked like so far. Um, I have my post-op appointment this coming Tuesday, which is 3 days from now, at which point the splints in my nose will be taken out. So, first off, what is the procedure that I had done? I've had difficulty breathing for many years, in part due to allergies that inflame my sinuses and whatever goes on in there, and in part due to a deviated septum, the septum being the central cartilage, and I don't know if it includes the bone as well, in the nose. And so mine deviated out to the left, which caused breathing to be difficult, mainly on this side, but also on this side. And I'm thinking that could be as a result of enlarged turbinates. I don't know too much about that. I'm not an ENT. So the procedure was very quick, very easy. I tried my best to fight the anesthesia, but all I can recall is it going in and I'm awake after, and there's an absolute lapse in memory. So great job to the anesthesiologist. I wake up afterwards, slight haze coming out of the anesthesia, and a nurse, I believe, was just explaining to me a little bit. I wasn't in the best state to fully understand this, but saying, don't blow your nose. You can breathe in a bit and try to sniff in and clear mucus, but didn't get a ton of information that the surgeon had already left. But so they go and they make an incision on the skin. I think the incision for me was made on this side, somewhere up here, and maybe a little bit of cartilage is removed to straighten it out. And so now currently I have two splints inside here. If you look it up, you'll see what they look like, but they're sort of like plastic tubes that have a fin on either side of them, I think. But when I look up and look in the mirror, I can see plastic tubes, one on this side, one on this side. And that's really just providing the support for this septum to heal straight. But the issue with that is, of course, now there's something else in my nose, and that's uncomfortable. And I've been having issues breathing because mucus and blood can get clotted and dried up inside the tubes and around, which is normal. It can just be difficult and very frustrating because I've woken up many times and I've been spending much of my day breathing through my mouth, and some sinus pressure can develop when this fully closes up. And it's difficult because you can't blow out too much. Well, you can, but it doesn't do much because all the mucus just kind of goes in the tube and goes out. You can't get all of it out. So breathing in and sucking in has been the best to clear mucus. Blood clots have come out. I've just had like thick, hardened pieces of blood just pop out, which has been good. I feel like I've been rambling, but let's see. So the way I was coping with this first day, a lot of blood coming out the front of my nose. I had a gauze pad sort of attached to my face to catch that blood and mucus. That lessened. Now there's still a bit of blood and mucus, but most of it seems to be from higher up at the incision site, and old blood that is clotted and is having a hard time getting out. So oftentimes I'm just dabbing my nose down here as it does drain down. What I needed to do, because the other day I was having a lot of sinus pressure because this tube was fully closed up. I couldn't breathe through it at all. What I ended up doing, which is advised against by my doctor, I got a little, I'll be right back. I went to CVS and I got little syringes. They didn't have this, but a pharmacist went in the back and found these. I think they're for oral doses of medicine for children. If you can find a small syringe, that'd be good. I got distilled water, just because it's clean. But when you're dealing with putting fluids within your nose, you should use um, a saline solution where you have some salt dissolved into the water. So what I've been doing is, saline is really expensive. It's not really expensive. It's just I don't want to go buy a bunch of packets of salt and whatnot. So I have a one saline bottle, cost about $6. And what I do is I pour a little distilled water into the cap of here, and then mix in the saline rinse, and it evens out so that it's not as concentrated of a saline solution, but it's enough that it doesn't burn my nose, and that way I can make the most of it. So I suck some of that into here, tilt my head up, and I'm able to just squirt the solution into the tube and around the tube. Air is able to flow through the tube, and there's some gap around it. So blood and mucus gets trapped both inside and outside. So it's been helping me to put a little bit in both. It can be frustrating at first because when I did it at first, nothing was happening. It was just sitting there, coming back out when I tilt my head down, not making much progress. But eventually, there'd be a little release of pressure and some water would start dribbling back through and draining through the back of my throat. Now, to assist this, and this is a part my doctor would not approve of, I asked him, he said he would not advise this. I have this pick of floss that I cut up. I cut it up, and it's a nice little flexible piece of plastic. And I've been able to use this to slowly insert up the splints. I've done it on both sides, and this especially helped that first time after I had moistened it a lot, but it was just a lot of blood that had stuck up there. So gently prodding, and then I could pick little bits of dried blood out. It felt very satisfying knowing that I was really going up there making contact with whatever debris was like stuck, but at the same time it didn't do that much, because it's not like you can remove and extract it. This can only go so far, so half of what you're doing is just prodding the material, but it felt satisfying to know that I was actually making contact with what's up there, and then I could see some blood on here and be like, okay, that far back there's some clotted blood. But yeah, this is like one of those do not try at home, but like I'm still using it because it's kind of helping. But mainly soaking with this, holding like that, putting it in, keeping my head up, and then just breathing in. And again, putting the saline around the tube so it can drain around the outside and sort of soften up that blood and mucus, and also inside the tube. And it has removed a lot of blood. Still uncongested again now, but it's a process and it's helping a lot. So if by any chance you are struggling with the healing process after septoplasty or turbinate reduction or whatever, I hope that this helps. Hopefully once my splints come out in a couple days and I fully heal up, I will be able to breathe properly through my nose. So we'll see. Best of luck to anyone that is going through this procedure and has come across this video.